Chapter 91 Yifeng's Expectations, the first demon dog in the world. It's done. Seeing that Luo Qianxue no longer opposed this matter, Yifeng also showed a smile. As long as you can call, it will come true if you keep calling. Why do I feel like I'm the Wang Duiyu of another world now? A purple dark crystal allows you to call me wife, so if you do something else, can you kiss me? Then how far is it to enter the bridal chamber? Looking at Luo Qianxue's back, Yifeng felt that it was time to start spending all kinds of good things on his wife. Wait. Fuck. Why are all the people gone? Can't you see these marrow cleansing pills? At this time, Yifeng saw the hundreds of marrow cleansing pills he had prepared, and then he remembered the business. As a result, he and a pile of flesh and blood corpses were left here. A moment later. Junior brother Wufeng, hurry to the sect hall, I have something good for you. We have to hurry up, otherwise you will be delayed in tempering yourself in the killing array. After saying that, Yifeng prepared to go to the courtyard residence of the 5 geniuses. Big brother, I'm too narrow-minded. When you spent 100,000 high-grade spirit stones to become the master's personal disciple, I thought you were a fool with a lot of money. But now I know that I was the fool. To buy the master's wife with 100,000 high-grade spirit stones, you have to be the big brother. After saying that, Leng Wufeng ran directly towards the main hall of the sect. Damn, who leaked the news? Yifeng was also confused. Leng Wufeng knew it in just a moment. Are the 4 elders so quick-mouthed? Little junior brother, it has to be you. The saint is a famous iceberg goddess in Xingji sect. Only you can take her down. After the 5 Tianjiao laughed and said something, they also ran directly to the main hall of the sect. The 4 elders are really quick-mouthed. I won't use the marrow cleansing pills to fill your big mouths. Although Yifeng knew that this matter would be known to everyone sooner or later, he really didn't expect it to be so fast. Grandpa, please let me go. Yifeng, what did you do to my sister Qianxue? However, when Yifeng came to the courtyard where Chu Xiaoxiao lived, the situation suddenly changed. Seeing Chu Xiaoxiao holding a long sword and being held tightly by Chu Hongshan, Yifeng was also confused. I'm looking for a wife, and you're so anxious? Chu Xiaoxiao was almost furious at this time. She wanted to stare at Yifeng when she came to the sect and find out his purpose of approaching Luo Qianxue, but she really didn't expect that he had only been back for a few days, and before she could find anything, he actually snatched her best friend away. Thinking of the terrible armless madman next to Yifeng, she would continue to stop him regardless of whether it was a done deal. Because she knew Luo Qianxue didn't know anything about the armless madman next to Yifeng. If Grandpa hadn't stopped her from telling Luo Qianxue about this, she would have told it long ago. Elder Chu, take your granddaughter to the sect hall, I have something good for you. Hearing this, Chu Xiaoxiao shouted directly, I don't want it, no matter what you give me, I won't take it, I will definitely stop you, don't think about bribing me. Yifeng didn't know what Chu Xiaoxiao was thinking, and didn't pay too much attention, and turned around and continued to walk towards Xia Tianyu's residence. After a while, in the sect hall. When everyone saw Yifeng bringing the little yellow dog into the sect hall, their eyes suddenly lit up, because they knew that Yifeng was really good to this dog. Since he brought the dog here, the things he gave them this time must be good things. However, Chu Xiaoxiao and Luo Qianxue in the crowd looked at Yifeng with anger. Wife, you are angry now. Yifeng felt that this mode of getting along was just like flirting, and he was not in a hurry to capture Luo Qianxue's heart. When is the best time to capture a woman's heart? When she is most helpless, stand in front of her and block everything, secretly train all the people in the sect, and when Luo Qianxue ascends to the upper realm, Yifeng quietly leads everyone to ascend together. When Luo Qianxue encounters a crisis, he will appear as the male protagonist, and then he will take her down in one fell swoop. Tear. Yifeng walked to the side of the blood-sucking mantis and skillfully tore off a piece of clothes, and then spread it directly on the ground, and then began to take out a handful of black marrow cleansing pills. I just changed my clothes. Master, you've had enough, can you change to a monster? Thinking of asking Yifeng to change to a monster's clothes to tear, he suddenly realized that there was only one big monster here, and the blood-sucking mantis was really going crazy. These are all marrow cleansing pills. The effect of the marrow cleansing pill is far stronger than the Qingshan pill. Even the 9-pattern 9-grade Qingshan pill can't work, but it needs to be taken in large quantities. It can make you have a real pure spirit body. Peng. Just after he finished speaking, Yifeng saw the dog glaring at the pill pile, and kicked the dog away with a shadowless kick. You stupid dog, lie down there honestly, and you can eat at last. Yifeng shouted directly at the dog who was climbing up in the distance. Seeing this scene and hearing these words, everyone suddenly felt that they stood up. It is unknown whether the series of people being worse than dogs will end, but today is definitely the series of dogs being worse than people. Sister Qianxue, we can't eat, we absolutely can't, Luo Qianxue interrupted Chu Xiaoxiao and said seriously, I want to become stronger, and I can't refuse what he brought out. Okay, I want to see if these pills are as powerful as you said. Chu Xiaoxiao gritted his teeth and joined the big team. Watching everyone sitting on the ground eating handfuls of marrow cleansing pills, Yifeng also sat on the ground and kept replenishing the marrow cleansing pills that were eaten. 20 minutes later. Ugh. 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 Everyone stood in various corners and leaned against the wall to vomit, one because they ate too much, and the other because the taste of this marrow cleansing pill was extremely bad, far from what the system said was slightly worse. Is it so bad? Yifeng looked at the vomiting people and directly gave one to the little yellow dog who had been waiting for a long time. Vomit. However, when Yifeng threw the second marrow cleansing pill into the little yellow dog's mouth, the little yellow dog vomited it out directly. You silly dog, you still despise it. Looking at the marrow cleansing pill spit out by the little yellow dog, Yifeng clenched his fists and taught the dog to be a dog. Dog, you have come to this day. Yifeng just spoiled this dog too much, it should have been beaten long ago. Watching the dog being beaten, I feel so good. When everyone looked at the little yellow dog screaming as Yifeng beat him, they all smiled. 10 minutes later. Eat. Yifeng took out a bunch of marrow cleansing pills and placed them in front of the dog and ordered directly. Seeing the aggrieved little yellow dog start to eat the marrow cleansing pill, Yifeng secretly said, You stupid dog, you don't want such a good thing. If I didn't want to train you to be the first demon dog in the world, I would not let you eat these things even if I threw them away. No one knows how much Yifeng expects from the little yellow dog. No one knows that in his previous life, Yifeng was an overtime dog, and the one who accompanied him the longest when he returned home every day was also a little yellow dog. Chapter 92 Who is the one-armed madman? You tell me, system, everyone's strength is different, and the amount of impurities accumulated in the body is also different. How many marrow cleansing pills do they need to take to completely become a pure spirit body? Seeing that everyone was still retching, Yifeng was also shocked by the horror of the marrow cleansing pill, so he was also very curious about how much each person needed to eat to end this nightmare. Ding! The marrow cleansing pill can remove impurities from the root and change the body constitution. Ignoring all factors, each person needs to swallow 100,000 marrow cleansing pills to completely have a pure spiritual body. Hearing the system's answer, Yifeng was also directly shocked. He never thought that the large amount mentioned in the introduction of the pill was 100,000 pills. Yifeng, I do feel some changes in my body, but they are not very obvious. But I just took at least 200 or 300 marrow cleansing pills. How many do I need to take to achieve a pure spiritual body? Chu Hongshan, who had calmed down a little, looked at Yifeng and asked directly. If he kept eating, he really couldn't stand it. Now there was an unpleasant stench in his mouth, and his spirit was also affected. The rest of the people also looked at Yi Feng. Although they all felt the changes in their bodies, they also wanted to know the answer to this question. 100,000 pills. No matter your age, whether you are a physical cultivator or a Taoist cultivator, no matter your strength level, as long as you eat 100,000 marrow cleansing pills, you can have a pure spiritual body. Looking at the curious eyes of the crowd, Yi Feng also directly said the exact number. Crazy! When everyone heard 100,000 pills, everyone collapsed. Not to mention just taking a pill, many of them have experienced nothing for decades, but they really can't stand it. The extremely bad taste of the marrow cleansing pill can even affect their spirits. Even if they use some method to block their taste and smell, it will be useless. However, Luo Qianxue was shocked at this time because she realized something extremely terrible. Once everyone has a pure spiritual body, it is equivalent to having a ticket to the upper realm. As long as they get some opportunities to withstand the 9 heavenly thunder tribulations after reaching the peak of the 9th level of the tribulation realm, they will soar into the sky after ascending to the upper realm. At that time, the power of the pure spiritual body will be fully revealed. Thinking of this, Luo Qianxue couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. If the master in the upper world knew that there were such evildoers under her, he would definitely let her be dragged into the Wuji Holy Land at all costs. No. If you want me to eat 100,000 such disgusting pills, you might as well kill me directly. At this time, Chu Xiaoxiao's head shook violently like a rattle, and she regretted why she had to eat with everyone just now. The effect of the marrow cleansing pill on the spirit made Chu Xiaoxiao feel that she was dirty now. And everyone also showed a struggling look at this time. Although the impurity-free spirit body can speed up the cultivation speed, it is only that. Is it really worth it? 100,000 pills, they feel that they will definitely go crazy in the end. Is it really so unpalatable? Seeing the reactions of the crowd, Yi Feng couldn't help but be curious and ate one, and spit it out in less than a second, and his face showed a bitter gourd color. System, you call this a slightly worse taste? This is like eating shit. It's really hard to imagine how they could have the willpower to eat more than 200 pills. I don't think it's possible, so forget it. I'll keep these marrow cleansing pills to squander. After trying it, Yi Feng couldn't help but complain about the system. Ding. Remind the host that the pure spirit body created by the marrow cleansing pill is the purest pure spirit body. It is not obvious in the lower realm, but once it ascends to the upper realm, the horror of the pure spirit body will be fully revealed. Please decide how to choose. Hearing the reminder of the system, Yi Feng was also stunned. He really didn't expect that the place where the pure spirit body really showed its power was in the upper realm. Seeing that Yi Feng couldn't bear it and vomited it out after eating one, everyone stopped struggling and made a decision in their hearts. Yi Feng, I think let's forget about this thing. I really can't bear 100,000 pills. Chu Hongshan looked at Yi Feng and said what he thought first. Okay. But I'll say it first. Elder Chu, if you eat one less, I will let that one-armed madman come out once. I can't guarantee what he will do to you at that time. I can only guarantee that you can survive. After speaking, Yi Feng took out a handful of pills again. Snap. Snap. As soon as Yi Feng finished speaking, the blood-sucking mantis beside him seemed to have seen something terrifying. It grabbed a handful of the marrow-cleansing pills that Yi Feng had just taken out and began to eat them crazily. It was not stupid, so it knew very well that Yi Feng was not just talking to Chu Hongshan. Thinking of that one-armed madman, it would rather be sickened to death by these stinking marrow-cleansing pills than to face that madman. Snap. Snap. At this time, the sound of chewing pills came again, but everyone was shocked to find that this person was Chu Xiaoxiao. Didn't you reject it most thoroughly just now? One-armed madman? Who is that? Luo Qianxue looked at Chu Xiaoxiao, who was full of fear, stuffing pills into her mouth. She was really shocked. Based on her understanding of her best friend, no one could persuade her to do something she didn't want to do. But now, just Yifeng's words turned into this. How could Luo Qianxue not feel puzzled and surprised? Yifeng, I ate a total of 238 marrow cleansing pills before. Give me the remaining marrow cleansing pills. As the last elder to come to the sect, I feel it is necessary to set an example, not to mention that you think highly of us and give us such precious marrow cleansing pills. As he said, Chu Hongshan also ate the marrow cleansing pill that Yifeng had just taken out in front of him. Stunned. The rest of the people were stunned when they saw this scene. What's going on? Don't just eat, you should talk, you one-armed lunatic, you should talk, we are so panicked now. Who is the strongest person in the sect now? Aren't they the bloodthirsty Mantis and Chu Hongshan? But now the two strongest people in the sect are so scared, everyone feels that if they don't eat, they will definitely be the unlucky ones in the end. How many things are you hiding from me, you traitor? Luo Qianxue looked at Yifeng with curiosity. She felt that Yifeng was hiding more and more things from her. Based on the current situation, she guessed that when she was pushed out of the blacksmith shop, something must have happened inside that she didn't know. 10 minutes later. Everyone stopped again. After all, they had just eaten too much before, and now they had to rely on their great willpower to eat nearly 100 pills. But it was really their limit, but they also found that as the efficacy of these pills evaporated, the feeling of fullness would gradually disappear. Ugh. After retching a few times, Chu Hongshan looked at Yifeng and said, Yifeng, if we kill Zhang Shufeng, I'm afraid it won't be long before Shi Chenfeng knows about it. At that time, the other party is likely to come to trouble our sect. Chapter 93, Leading 10,000 Golden Armored Guards to Kill the Black Demon Sect. Doesn't he owe you 3 favors? Hearing this, Yifeng asked back in confusion. He felt that with Chu Hongshan's 3 favors, the other party would definitely not dare to come to find trouble. Hey! If they are not enemies, those 3 favors will work, but if they are enemies, Shi Chenfeng will never recognize those 3 favors. He and Zhang Shufeng are birds of a feather, neither of them is a good person. Chu Hongshan also smiled bitterly and shook his head. After all, his favors were useless. If he wanted to fight against Shi Chenfeng, he would have to rely on the terrible madman next to Yifeng. Ding. Issue the task. Please lead 10,000 reserve prodigal guards to kill the Black Demon cult. If the task is successful, you will be rewarded with 300,000 prodigal points. If the task fails, you will be deducted 300,000 prodigal points. You can refuse. At this moment, the system's prompt sound suddenly rang in Yifeng's mind. Reserve prodigal guards? By the way, I forgot to ask. The golden armored guard who appeared for the first time said that there are thousands of prodigal guards, but the one-armed madman said that there are only 10 people at present. What's the situation? Hearing this, Yifeng suddenly remembered a doubt in his heart and asked the system directly. Ding. Because the golden armored guard is only one of the thousands of reserve prodigal guards, the golden armor is the symbol of their identity. When they can take off the golden armor, they will be the real prodigal guards. Wow. After hearing the system's explanation, Yifeng could only use a word of wow to express his feelings at this time. It turns out that those people who need to be assessed at various levels by the one-armed madman are actually the thousands of reserve members wearing golden armor. System, that's not right. Shouldn't the official members of the prodigal guard come when I'm in danger? Why was it the reserve golden armored strongman the first time? Yifeng asked again at this time. Ding. When the host is in danger, the system will randomly select. Anyway, in this weak Shantian continent, even if the reserve members come, it will be a dimensionality reduction attack. Haha. System, you really know how to play. Yifeng was speechless after hearing the system's explanation, but he really wanted to shout, "Can you respect me as the host? I'm in danger, and you're still randomly calling people? I got 500,000 points for giving the purple dark black clothes to Luo Qianxue. My current points have reached 618,210. If I get another 300,000 points, 900,000 points will be enough for me to break through to the 9th peak of the Xinzang realm. However, how powerful is this black demon sect that I need to lead 10,000 reserve gold armor guards to kill them?" Yifeng was also very interested in this black demon sect at this time. Ding. Please don't think too much, host, just let the 10,000 reserve gold armor guards come out for some fresh air. Hearing this, Yifeng's face was instantly covered with black lines. You are really a good boss, and you know to let your employees come out for some fresh air. But I have to participate in the Secret Realm sect competition in 7 days, which is also a mission. There is not enough time. Yifeng found that there was not enough time. Ding. The host can let Chu Hongshan take you to the Black Demon sect. 7 days is enough. After killing the Black Demon sect, you can let the Golden Armor Guard tear the space and send you directly to the Secret Realm space of the sect competition. Send directly to the Secret Realm space? Does that mean that no one knows that he has entered the Secret Realm space? As long as we can find a way to grab all the cultivation resources in the secret space and then destroy them, we can trigger a wave of wasteful behavior, and then leave only a little bit for one person. Then I will be the second, not only me, but everyone will be the second. All sect disciples, if you want to be a spendthrift, just be a spendthrift, don't be a spendthrift with our things. Are you still a human being? Wife, I want to go out with Elder Chu to do something, you see. Swish. Before Yifeng finished speaking, Luo Qianxue took out the snow-white long sword from the space ring and directly put it on her neck, glaring at Yifeng and said, "Try to shout again. You can still play like this." Seeing Luo Qianxue's operation, everyone was stunned for a while. As expected of the Saint of the Upper Realm, she really knows how to reverse the operation. When Yifeng saw this scene, he also shouted in his heart that it was awesome. He never thought that the other party would come up with such a trick. "Master, I want to go out with Elder Chu to do something." Before Yifeng finished speaking, Luo Qianxue interrupted again, "It's approved." "What's approved? I didn't even tell you what I was going to do." "As a master, you should at least care about your disciples." "Master, after all, I am your direct disciple. Don't you worry about what might happen to your disciples when they go out." Yifeng looked at Luo Qianxue unwillingly and asked directly. "Master is out doing things, why should I, a junior, care?" Luo Qianxue looked at Yifeng with a playful look and said directly. Hearing this, Yifeng also smiled bitterly. He had used his status to pressure others before, but who would have thought that he would be defeated by the other party so quickly? 10 minutes later. After Yifeng left 100,000 marrow cleansing pills for everyone, he asked Chu Hongshan to take him out of the sect. "What are you doing? Such a magical pill doesn't need to be rounded up. So the more than 300 pills we took before were eaten in vain?" Standing at the gate of the sect and watching the two people soaring into the sky, everyone put on the space ring containing 100,000 marrow cleansing pills on their hands with tears. In the next few days, they don't have to eat anything, just eat shit, pills. "Yifeng, where are we going?" Sitting on an iron plate spiritual weapon with complex patterns, Chu Hongshan also asked, curiously. "Elder Chu, what is this thing?" Yifeng ignored Chu Hongshan's question and focused his attention on the 2-meter-long and 2-meter-wide iron plate below him. If it weren't for the various incomprehensible complex patterns on it, it would just be a piece of iron plate. But now it can fly, how can Yi Feng not be interested? This is just a flying spiritual weapon. As long as there are enough spirit stones, this flying spirit tool can ensure that it can fly all the time. Most physical cultivators will get a flying spirit tool, and even many Taoist cultivators have flying spirit tools. After all, this does not require the consumption of spiritual power in one's body, but it does consume a little spirit stones. The more powerful the flying spirit tool, the different number of spirit stones it will consume every minute and every second according to the different speeds. Hearing this, Yi Feng was instantly excited. Isn't this what he lacks? If there is a flying spirit tool, who the hell would still learn to fly a sword? Isn't it nice to lie on the flying spirit tool to travel? The most important thing is that he doesn't lack spirit stones at all. Chapter 94, How about your teacher rub your back? This flying spiritual weapon is also divided into grades 1 to 9. My flying spiritual weapon is just a grade 3 flying spiritual weapon. The upper limit of speed can at most reach the peak of the 9th level of the fusion spirit realm. As a physical cultivator, if I really need to travel on weekdays, I can also fly in the air with my strong physical body. However, when I am not traveling, I will sit on this flying spiritual weapon to watch the scenery along the way. Chu Hongshan looked at the curious Yi Feng and explained with a smile. Grade 3 flying spiritual weapon? Then can we reach the black magic sect within 7 days at this speed? Thinking of this, Yi Feng looked at Chu Hongshan and asked, then can we reach the black magic sect within 7 days with this grade 3 flying spiritual weapon? Black magic sect? Yi Feng, are you going to the black magic sect to find Shi Feng? However, Chu Hongshan was stunned when he heard Yi Feng's question, because Shi Feng was the leader of the black magic sect, and the overall strength of the black magic sect was even higher than that of the Xingji sect. Shi Feng? Is the Shi Feng you said was going to cause trouble for us from the black magic cult? Crazy. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Chu Hongshan's head was buzzing. Are we not talking on the same channel at all? Yi Feng, don't you know that Shi Feng is the leader of the black magic sect? Then why are you going to the black magic sect? Chu Hongshan looked at Yi Feng speechlessly and asked. Don't worry about what I'm going to do. I just want to ask you, can I reach the black magic sect within 7 days with this 3rd grade flying spiritual tool? Yi Feng looked at Chu Hongshan and asked directly. No, if I go all out, I can reach the black magic sect within 6 days, and that's on the premise that I don't go at night. After a moment. Fast, this is fast. Yi Feng, sitting alone on the flying spiritual tool, felt the cool breeze that could be felt even with the spiritual shield. Looking at the scenery below, which was all fleeting, he couldn't help but sigh. Human booster. Chu Hongshan, who was flying in the air behind him, held the flying spirit tool with both hands and moved forward at a very fast speed. At this moment, he wanted to cry to death. He was a powerful physical cultivator who had withstood 5 heavenly thunder tribulations and reached the peak of the 9th level of the crossing tribulation realm. However, he never dreamed that one day he would be reduced to a human booster. As the sun slowly set in the west, Chu Hongshan and Yi Feng stopped directly in a town. If they continued on their way, they would probably have to spend the night in the wild since he was going for Yi Feng. Although he had joined the sect not long ago, he also found out that Yi Feng was a person who liked to sleep very much. According to other elders, Yi Feng would take out some things to spend every morning. I don't know if he will take out something to spend tomorrow. I am really looking forward to it. Lying on the wooden bed in the guest room, Chu Hongshan also showed a hint of expectation. In another guest room. This marrow cleansing pill should also be sent to my eldest disciple, otherwise my master would be too incompetent. Thinking of this, Yi Feng directly recited in his heart, open the sect transmission, target Hua Yuming. As the space around him twisted, Yi Feng disappeared in the guest room in the blink of an eye. Ah! With a scream, Yifeng realized that Hua Yiming was bathing in a large bathtub, and he was actually teleported directly into the bathtub. Eldest disciple, how about you turn around and let the master rub your back? Yifeng looked at Hua Yiming with a confused face and said with his hands in front of him and an angry face. Go to hell. Hua Yiming kicked Yifeng out of the bathtub with shame and anger. Boom. At this moment, a violent aura that suppressed the space came crashing down. I want to see who dares to hurt my master. As a rough voice sounded, a burly bald man walked out of the torn space crack. Get out. Okay. The bald man who had just taken a step out immediately retracted his foot. As the space crack gradually disappeared, the bald man on the other side wanted to cry to death. He was a formal member of the Prodigal Guards. It was not easy to get him this time, but who would have thought that he would be scolded back just after taking a step out? Hula. Yifeng also walked out of the bathtub at this time. After a while. Master, can you tell your disciple first when you come next time? Hua Yiming, who was dressed neatly, blushed and looked at Yifeng angrily. Okay, this time is definitely an accident. Yifeng also responded with an embarrassed look. He didn't expect that he had finally come to see his eldest disciple, but he would cause such an embarrassing thing. Master, what do you want to do with me? Hua Yiming was the owner of Wanhua Valley after all, and his emotions and mentality were quickly adjusted. There are 200,000 marrow cleansing pills in this space ring. You have 100,000 and my junior sister has 100,000. As long as you take all of these 100,000 marrow cleansing pills, you can have a pure spiritual body. Although this marrow cleansing pill smells extremely bad after swallowing, you must also withstand the pressure and eat them all. You must eat 100,000 pills to truly have a pure spiritual body, not one less. Don't think that the pure spiritual body is only useful for speeding up cultivation. When you reach the upper realm, the horror of the pure spiritual body will really show up. After hearing this, Hua Yiming nodded seriously and said, Master, don't worry, I will definitely take all of the 100,000 marrow cleansing pills. Yifeng is a spendthrift. Then Hua Yiming knew that Yifeng was definitely true when he took out such a powerful pill. The terrifying violent breath just now made her feel suffocated in just a moment. She thought Yifeng was just a rich prodigal, but now she found that it was far more than that. The other party's description of the situation in the upper realm was absolutely true. Mysterious. Rich. There are also terrifying strong men guarding by his side. Hua Yiming even felt lucky that she could become a disciple of Yifeng's prodigal family. She did not ask about the situation of the strong man just now. If Yifeng wanted to talk, she did not need to ask. If he did not want to talk, she would be nosy if she asked. By the way, do you know about the black magic sect? Don't deal with the black magic sect in the past few days. I am preparing to destroy the black magic sect now. Okay, nothing else, I just want to send you some pills. After saying that, as the space around him gradually twisted, Yifeng's figure quickly disappeared in front of Hua Yiming. Master wants to destroy the black magic sect? Thinking of this, Hua Yiming's eyes flashed with murderous intent, and she got up and left the room directly. Come here, immediately drag out and chop the people from the black magic sect who came to buy poison pills, poisonous insects, and poisonous grass this time. Soon, Hua Yiming's murderous order sounded outside the house. Black magic cult members, shouldn't we be the lucky ones who survived the black magic cult? How come we died earlier than everyone else in the demon cult? Chapter 95 You messed with me on the first day, Chu Hongshan went crazy. In the boudoir. Master, where did I offend you? You can tell me. Isn't it too much to disgust me with such a smelly pill? Luo Yaoyao looked at Hua Yiming with resentment, her eyes full of grievance. 3 pills. Just eating 3 pills can make Yaoyao like this, how terrible is this pill? Hua Yuming looked at Luo Yaoyao, who was very aggrieved, and was also terrified by the marrow-cleansing pill that Yifeng gave her. That's right, Hua Yuming didn't take it immediately, but asked Luo Yaoyao to come and try it first. Should I try it too? Thinking of Yifeng's repeated instructions that she must eat 100,000 pills, even if she saw Luo Yaoyao like this, Hua Yuming knew that she would have to eat it sooner or later, so she simply picked up one and put it in her mouth. Ugh! After chewing a few times, Hua Yuming vomited. Just when she was about to spit it out, she suddenly remembered something and swallowed it. 200,000 pills, 100,000 each for 2 people, not a single one can be wasted. Master, what's wrong with you? Did someone threaten you? If so, you can just tell me with a wink. What hatred or resentment made us 2 masters and apprentices eat such disgusting pills? Seeing Hua Yuming eating 1 pill, Luo Yaoyao was really going crazy. This was not a punishment for her, something must have happened. Yaoyao, this pill was sent by master. Don't ask anything, just eat it. As she said that, Hua Yuming handed Luo Yaoyao a space ring containing a marrow-cleansing pill. So many, master is going to kill us 2 masters and apprentices. Hearing this, Hua Yuming's face turned slightly red, and she quickly scolded, what do you mean by playing to death or not? Master is doing this for our own good. You have 100,000 pills, and I have 100,000 pills. We must eat them all without missing a single one. Master, wait a minute, I'll go ask my sister first. As she said that, Luo Yaoyao took out the sound transmission jade pendant that could contact Luo Qianxue. Ugh. Ugh. Yaoyao, what do you want to find me for, ugh? Hearing the intermittent retching sounds coming from the other side, Luo Yaoyao cut off the connection of the sound transmission jade pendant without saying anything, and then looked at Hua Yuming with a bitter face, and said, Master, let's eat, my sister is retching over there now. By the way, Master, I just heard that you asked people to chop down all the believers sent by the Black Demon sect to buy supplies. I'm afraid the Black Demon sect will not let it go after knowing it. Luo Yaoyao suddenly thought of something at this time, and also looked at Hua Yuming to ask. After all, the strength of the Black Demon sect is very strong. It is no exaggeration to say that even if Wanhua Valley wants to destroy the Black Demon sect, it will be seriously injured. It will take at least 100 years to recover. Master is on the way to the Black Demon sect. I'm afraid that in a few days, the Black Demon sect will completely disappear from the Xintian continent. Stunned. Hearing this, Luo Yaoyao was stunned on the spot. Even the Xingji sect did not dare to provoke the Black Demon sect. Her sister's disciple actually wanted to destroy the Black Demon sect. Are you sure you want to destroy it instead of buying it? The next day, early morning. Yifeng, who had just woken up, checked today's waste product. Today's waste product, Refining Whey Enlightenment Fragments *10,000. Refining Whey Enlightenment Fragments, even if an ordinary person uses all of them, the understanding of the way of refining can reach an extremely high level, and can refine spiritual tools with low-level spirits. There is this thing? Yifeng was also shocked when he saw today's waste product. He already knew that there were no spiritual tools without spirits in the lower realm, just like the spirit of the 9-dragon burning heaven cauldron, which was a kind of spirit, but it was a very high-level one. How can I waste this? Thinking of this, Yifeng was also in trouble. After a while. Yifeng, what are you worried about? Chu Hongshan, who was eating breakfast, saw Yifeng's face full of worry, and asked, curiously. Elder Chu, as a top-notch weapon refiner, have you always been pursuing the highest realm of weapon refinement? Yifeng asked Chu Hongshan's question. Ha ha ha. However, Chu Hongshan laughed after hearing this and said, yes, my lifelong wish was to build a heavenly furnace with my own hands, but now I have realized it. What weapon refinement is there to pursue? just do it for the most part. Thinking of Yi Feng using the heavenly furnace as a toilet container and Lin Wufeng using the heavenly furnace as a water tank, Chu Hongshan's face twitched and continued, I have been constantly pursuing a higher level of weapon refinement in my life, but I feel tired now. Even if there is a weapon refinement secret book that can cast weapon spirits in front of me, I will not even look at it, but let it roll as far as it can. The top weapon refinement results are definitely the glory of a weapon refiner's life. Chu Hongshan would rather not forge it than tolerate that kind of glory being tarnished. Wait. Why did this kid suddenly look at me and smile? At this moment, Chu Hongshan found that Yi Feng's face full of sorrow suddenly disappeared like spring flowers, but his eyes made me panic. Elder Chu, come with me to the guest room. After saying that, Yi Feng stood up and walked towards the stairs. What should I do? Should I go or not? I was so panicked. What was this brat going to do again? After struggling for a while, Chu Hongshan gritted his teeth and walked towards the second floor. It was a blessing, not a curse, but a curse that could not be avoided. The fragment of enlightenment of the way of refining. After entering the guest room, when Chu Hongshan felt the breath from a fragment that Yi Feng took out, his face changed drastically, and he exclaimed, Huh! After taking a deep breath, Chu Hongshan looked at Yi Feng and said, Yi Feng, I no longer have the belief in pursuing the supreme way of refining. It would be a waste to give this thing to me. Let's leave it to the destined person. Some things, once given up, are difficult to pick up again. Chu Hongshan himself knows this very well. Not to mention that this is a fragment of enlightenment of the way of refining. Even in the battlefield of the heavenly Tao, the number that appears is very small. Even he has been in the battlefield of the heavenly Tao for decades, and he has only got 2 by chance. Waste? It feels like a waste in your eyes, but in my eyes it's just a waste. You are the destined person I think of. If you don't give up the belief in pursuing the supreme way of refining, I won't give it to you. Chu Hongshan was also stunned when he heard Yi Feng's words. It's a waste to give it to me. You are a spendthrift. Chu Hongshan suddenly realized halfway through his words. You are a spendthrift here? There is only one. This spendthrift is considered poor for once. Thinking of this, just when Chu Hongshan was about to agree, he saw Yi Feng began to take out the fragments of the way of refining and put them on the table. These are 10,000 fragments of the way of refining. As long as you absorb them all, your way of refining will reach a peak, and you can even refine spiritual tools with low-level tool spirits. In the future, the pots, pans, kitchen knives, hose, and other things used by our sect will be handed over to Elder Chu. We must ensure that all things have tool spirits. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Chu Hongshan went crazy. Chapter 96, Quick Battle, Good and Evil Buddha. Tool Spirit. Looking at the entire Shantian continent, there is no spiritual tool with a tool spirit. If you can create a spiritual tool with a tool spirit, it will definitely be recorded in the history of Shantian continent and be remembered for thousands of years. But you actually want me to make some pots, pans, and even kitchen knives and hose? Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. If that's the case, I'd rather not become the #1 weapon refiner in Shantian continent. Chu Hongshan looked at Yi Feng and refused, with a very firm expression. What are you doing? Why are you pulling your right arm out of your sleeve and shaking your empty sleeve? Damn. Suddenly, the figure of a one-armed madman suddenly appeared in Chu Hongshan's mind. That's right. Seeing Chu Hongshan reluctantly integrating one after another of the fragments of the way of weapon refining, Yi Feng also revealed a smile. 1 hour later. Yi Feng, it is not a simple matter to create a spiritual weapon with a weapon spirit. Although my attainments have reached such a terrifying level, the derivation of a weapon spirit on a spiritual weapon will lead to a weapon calamity. Even if it is made with the most precious spiritual ore on the Shantian continent, it cannot resist the weapon calamity at all. Weapon spirits should not exist in this Xintian continent. Chu Hongshan, the human booster, also persuaded Ji Feng, who was sitting on the flying spiritual weapon. Weapon calamity? Don't worry, I will resist the weapon calamity when the time comes. Thinking of the golden-armored strong man who directly cut off the calamity cloud with one knife when he first appeared, Yi Feng really didn't worry about this problem. Wait. Why didn't the one-armed madman lead to the calamity cloud when he appeared before? Could it be that the formal members of the prodigal guard are so powerful that the thunder calamity dare not descend? Hiss. Thinking of this, Yi Feng couldn't help but take a breath. If it was really as he guessed, then the strength of the members of the official prodigal guards would be far beyond his imagination. No. The weapon spirit derived from the spiritual weapon of different grades will lead to different weapon tribulations, but as long as someone dares to resist the weapon tribulations for the weapon spirit, it will lead to real thunder tribulations. Even I can't resist that kind of real thunder tribulations at all. Chu Hongshan was also shocked when he heard Yi Feng's words. After all, as his weapon refining skills reached a terrifying level, he also inexplicably knew a lot of information. Don't worry, no matter what level of weapon tribulations or thunder tribulations, don't worry. As long as that one-armed madman comes out, even if he cuts off the weapon tribulations and thunder tribulations, the heavenly Tao will not dare to fart. Yi Feng looked at Chu Hongshan with a nervous face and laughed and assured him. Is it true? Chu Hongshan's mind trembled violently when he heard this. Although Yi Feng was a bit of a spendthrift, he really never said anything big. But if it is true, then who the hell are you? There is such a terrifying existence guarding you. Wait. Am I thinking about the wrong question? Shocked, Chu Hongshan suddenly realized that if these were not a problem, then wouldn't he really have to make those pots and pans with spirits? 6 days. I need to be alone with him for 6 days. He's messing with me on the first day. Will he continue to mess with me next time? Chu Hongshan was already a little worried about the next few days. A few hours later. Stop. As Yi Feng's voice sounded, Chu Hongshan also stopped in a hurry. His eyes fell directly on the 3 young men and 5 monsters below. Black mysterious magic skill. Those 3 are members of the Black Demon cult. Judging from the martial arts they display, they are probably inner disciples. Chu Hongshan was also a little surprised at this time. He did not expect to meet people from the Black Demon cult here. But what did Yi Feng want to do when he stopped? If nothing unexpected happens, these 3 people will be killed by the monsters soon. Elder Chu, what are their strengths? Because he has no spiritual roots and no special physique, although he has the strength of the 9th level of the foundation building realm, and the spiritual lotus created in his body is far beyond the reach of ordinary cultivators, Yi Feng really can't detect the strength of others or monsters. All of them are at the 9th level of the foundation building realm. After hearing this, Chu Hongshan directly said the strength of the 3 people and 5 monsters below. It's just right to try the power of the magic power I got before, the Buddha of good and evil. As he said, Yi Feng jumped directly from the flying spiritual weapon with a hint of excitement. Is this prodigal finally going to make a move? Those guys have always said that Yi Feng is extremely extraordinary. Today, I can finally open my eyes. Chu Hongshan was also very curious about Yi Feng's own strength, but he had no chance to see it. No. Are you going down to kill the monster or the 3 Black Demon cult disciples? Soon, Chu Hongshan realized a very serious problem. Damn it, it's really bad luck. I didn't expect to encounter 5 powerful monsters just after coming out of the Tiandao battlefield. Fight to the death, don't hide, show your trump cards, otherwise we will all die here today. The leading young man shouted directly to the 2 companions beside him while facing the attacks of 2 monsters. The other two were instantly furious when they heard this. Xia Hai, you still have shame. Everything we got from the Tiandao battlefield this time is in your hands. The trump cards we too have already consumed in the Tiandi battlefield, but you have never used any life-saving trump cards. I warn you, if you want to kill us too, we will drag you down with us even if we die, and you can't even think of leaving alive. As they said, the two looked at each other, resisting the crazy attacks of the three monsters while approaching Xia Hai quickly. These two bastards dared to threaten me. See how I will deal with you when I return to the Black Demon sect. Seeing the two approaching, Xia Hai's eyes flashed with a ruthless look. Three Taoist friends, retreat quickly. Leave these 5 monsters to me. At this moment, an extremely arrogant voice suddenly came from above. Hearing this shout, Chu Hongshan in the air also staggered. That was a disciple of the Black Demon sect. Yi Feng, you saved the wrong person. As Yi Feng fell from the sky, the 3 people and the 5 monsters also retreated several meters away. Crisis. The 5 ice-black tigers focused all their attention on Yi Feng at this time. They felt a strong sense of crisis from Yi Feng. Quick battle, quick decision. Good and evil Buddha. Boom. The space was torn apart. A Buddha's shadow several dozen feet high condensed in the shattered space. The Buddha put his palms together, half of the Buddha's body was shining with golden light, and his face was full of kindness, while the other half was filled with black evil spirits, and his face was ferocious. Good and evil, yin and yang, cause and effect, life and death. Good and evil magical powers that ignore the laws of heaven. At this time, Chu Hongshan in the air had already been shocked and his pupils were wide open, and he couldn't say a word for a long time. Chapter 97 3 people from the Black Demon cult committed suicide by cutting their stomachs? What a terrifying supreme magical power! And Xia Hai and the other 3 were also shocked by the magical power displayed by Yi Feng at this time. Magic power, that is the power that any cultivator dreams of. The supreme realm, no magical power. If he cannot ascend to the upper realm unless he can obtain a magical power by relying on his own chance in the heavenly Tao battlefield, otherwise, he will never have magical power in this life. After being shocked, the 3 looked at Yi Feng with envy. If they could obtain such a terrifying supreme magical power, they would definitely soar to the sky in the Black Demon sect. Stare. At this moment, the half-faced Buddha filled with evil spirit suddenly opened his eyes. Evil starts from the heart. As the 5 ice-black tigers gradually emanated evil energy, they seemed to have lost their minds and began to launch a death-like attack on their companions. In less than a minute, the 5 ice-black tigers fell to the ground with wounds all over their bodies and died. This is too strong. Yi Feng was also shocked when he saw this scene and opened his mouth wide. No wonder the system did not introduce too much when he got the good and evil Buddha's magical power. It was simply too terrifying. Forced to control the good and evil in the hearts of living beings. This is Yi Feng's initial understanding of the good and evil Buddha. Xia Hai, let's go quickly, this kid is too scary. At this time, the man who had talked back to Xia Hai before said a little uneasily. Try the good Buddha? Thinking of this, Yi Feng turned around and looked at the 3 people from the Black Demon sect opposite. Anyway, the 3 people would recover after putting away the magical power, and it was the power of the good Buddha. Yi Feng felt that it should not have any effect on the 3 people. As Yi Feng turned around, the good and evil Buddha, which was dozens of feet high, also faced the 3 people from the Black Demon sect. Gulp. Looking up at the shadow of the Buddha of good and evil, the 3 of them swallowed their saliva in fear, fearing that the evil Buddha would open his eyes again. Because Yi Feng was standing between them and the monster in a triangle, they could see the situation of the evil Buddha clearly. Stare. The half-faced Buddha emitting golden Buddha light slowly opened his eyes at this time. As the golden Buddha light gradually spread from the 3 people, their expressions gradually became unusually calm, and even a smile like relief appeared on their faces. I am kind-hearted. How can I be so sinful in this life? Puff. 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 Looking at the three people holding long swords and all committing suicide, Yifeng was stunned. Damn. What the hell is going on? Didn't I use the good Buddha to arouse the good thoughts in your hearts? But what the hell is it that you commit suicide directly? Stunned. Yifeng was completely stunned. This was different from what he thought. Yifeng, you put away your magical powers first. I feel a little panicked when I see this good and evil Buddha. At this time, Chu Hongshan's trembling voice sounded from the side. The golden Buddha light and the black evil spirit intertwined and gradually dissipated. When the Buddha of good and evil completely disappeared, Chu Hongshan finally breathed a sigh of relief. Although he didn't know whether Yifeng's use of this magical power would have any effect on him with his current strength, he was really panicked when he saw the fate of the monster and the three people from the black demon cult. To put it bluntly, he has killed many people and monsters in his life. After all, this world is a world where the strong prey on the weak. But he thinks he is good, but when he really sees this magical power that gathers the power of good and evil, he really can't guarantee whether he is good or evil. Yifeng, don't you know your magical power very well? Looking at Yifeng, who was confused, Chu Hongshan also asked. I don't understand. After I learned this magical power, this is my first time using it. Yifeng also directly told his situation. He now hopes that Chu Hongshan can give some valuable information. Over the years, I have seen some magical powers, but this is the first time I have seen a good and evil magical power like yours that ignores the laws of heaven. Through everything I just saw, I have some guesses. The good thoughts in the hearts of the 5 monsters should be stronger than the evil thoughts. When the evil thoughts take over, they will lose their reason. Similarly, the 3 disciples of the Black Demon sect are evil people. When the good thoughts take over, they will also lose their reason. Otherwise, they will never do such a ridiculous thing as committing suicide. But if you just used the power of the evil Buddha on them, it is unclear what will happen at that time. This requires continuous attempts in the future to understand. Chu Hongshan also expressed some of his thoughts. So that's it. It seems that if I want to know more about this magical power, I really need to continue to use it in the future to know. As he said that, Yifeng looked at Chu Hongshan and pointed at the 3 people who committed suicide by cutting their stomachs, and asked, You said they were disciples of the Black Demon sect? Seeing Chu Hongshan nod very seriously, Yifeng felt numb all over. He just saved 3 disciples of the Black Demon sect? Yifeng, you don't have to do this. This way of dying is a punishment for them. Chu Hongshan said with a smile as he looked at Yifeng with a bitter smile on his face. Fuck, if this kid doesn't need that one-armed madman to scare me in the future, I will have to be honest. Who is this kid? It's okay that he is a loser, but why is he so terrifying? It's really fucked up. Chu Hongshan was also devastated at this time. He used to feel that he was a big shot, but now that he has seen the tip of the iceberg revealed by Yifeng, he feels that he is a shitty person. Ding. Found the heavenly Tao order. Huh. Just when Yifeng was about to leave, the system's prompt sound suddenly rang, which made him pause. The mission has not been triggered. Thinking of this, Yifeng's eyes turned directly to the 3 members of the Black Demon cult who committed suicide by seppuku. Yifeng, I was just about to remind you that they just said they had just come out of the Tianhen battlefield, and they might have some good things on them. Oh, just look for the space ring on the guy in the middle. Everything they got this time is on that guy. Even though they were in the sky before, Chu Hongshan heard the conversation between the 3 people clearly. Damn, I made a profit this time. Yifeng also showed a happy face. He really didn't expect that he would get a surprise just by trying the power of the Buddha of good and evil. Including this heavenly Tao order, he has 2 heavenly Tao orders in his hand. After the Secret Realm sect competition is over, he will go to Tianhen City to play again. A few minutes later, when Yifeng took out the contents of the 3 space rings on Xia Hai, he didn't see the heavenly Tao order at all. Take out the space rings on the other 2. As he said, Yifeng walked to the person on the left and started to look through them, while Chu Hongshan went to the person on the right and started to look through them. After taking out the contents of the space rings of the 2 men, Yifeng looked at the spiritual minerals, spiritual herbs, elixirs, tokens, and other things on the ground, and asked Chu Hongshan directly, "Is this what you said that all the things are on the idiot in the middle?" Chapter 98. Have you ever seen the number 1 sword dog on the continent? Shameless. The people of the black magic sect are really shameless. These 3 people simply refreshed Chu Hongshan's understanding of the black magic sect. It was agreed that all the things would be handed over to the man named Xia Hai. Who would have thought that the other 2 would hide so many things? The man named Xia Hai was really an idiot. He didn't know anything about the fact that others hid so many things behind his back. Yifeng, what is this token? Chu Hongshan found that Yifeng just picked up the seemingly ordinary token on the ground, which made him feel a little puzzled. Heavenly token. Heavenly token? What is that? It sounds like it's awesome. Chu Hongshan also smiled bitterly at this time. He felt like a country bumpkin who didn't know anything. Don't want anything else? Seeing Yifeng put away the heavenly token and ignored all the other things, Chu Hongshan cursed him as a prodigal son, and then put all the other things into the space ring. On the road again, Chu Hongshan looked at Yifeng sitting on the flying spiritual weapon and asked, "Yifeng, besides the terrifying Buddha of good and evil, do you have any trump cards? Does the death sword intent of the sword heart realm count?" Hearing Chu Hongshan's question, Yifeng thought about it and directly filtered out the sets of earth-level top-grade martial arts. Only the death sword intent could be mentioned. You are still a sword cultivator. You can comprehend the sword heart realm at such a young age, and it is an extremely rare death sword intent. You are simply a sword demon. After hearing this, Chu Hongshan exclaimed in shock. I am not a sword cultivator. I am just a porter of the sword intent. Hearing this, Chu Hongshan's face was instantly filled with countless question marks. Wait. Could it be the fragments of the death sword intent? At this moment, Chu Hongshan suddenly thought of the 10,000 fragments of the way of refining that he had just merged. Elder Chu, expand the picture a little bit. Sword cultivators are everywhere. Even if I am a sword cultivator, what can I do? The world is so big, are there not many geniuses in the way of sword? But have you seen a sword dog? Bitch dog? Hearing Yifeng's words, Chu Hongshan was even more confused. What kind of dog is considered a bitch dog? It's not easy to confirm. The dog I raised has already comprehended the yellow spring sword intent of the sword heart realm. It is definitely the well-deserved first sword dog in Shantian continent. Seeing Chu Hongshan's puzzled expression, Yifeng knew that he didn't know the situation of the little yellow dog, so he simply explained. Chow. 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 It's a sword dog, not a bitch dog. A dog comprehended the yellow spring sword intent of the sword heart realm, the best sword dog on the continent? Crazy. Chu Hongshan was completely crazy at this moment. He didn't even need to think about it to know that Yifeng must have used countless yellow spring sword intent fragments on that dog, but how did that little yellow dog break through to the sword heart realm? Is my comprehension even worse than that of a dog? Autistic, Chu Hongshan didn't know that there was a system product like the sword heart advancement fragment. He now felt that his understanding was crushed by a dog, and it was the kind of crushing that was pressed to the ground and rubbed continuously. I shouldn't ask. I shouldn't have asked in the beginning. wouldn't it be better to be a human booster? Chu Hongshan secretly made up his mind at this moment that he would never ask Yifeng anything more in the future. He felt that he was really about to collapse. The backyard of the Qinghai Chamber of Commerce headquarters. Looking at Huang Xiaofei, covered in blood. Looking at Huang Xiaofei, with endless fighting spirit in his eyes. Feeling the rising power of Huang Xiaofei. Huang Dahai couldn't believe that this was his useless son. He just went out to deliver a batch of goods, how could he become a god of war when he came back? At this moment, Meng Haifeng walked over from a distance with a solemn expression. President, you should not meet the young master in the next few days. Hearing what Meng Haifeng said, Huang Dahai also showed a puzzled look and asked, why? It has just been confirmed that the recipe for the blood ginseng pill is real. The young master said that he will slap you in the face with this recipe when he comes back. Also, you have really wronged the young master for more than 10 years. Don't say that the young master is a prodigal son in the future, because he doesn't deserve it at all. Meng Lao, what are you talking about? I admit that he slapped me in the face with the recipe. After all, when he told me about this with the sound transmission jade pendant, I thought he was crazy and didn't believe that he had the recipe for the blood ginseng pill. But if you say he is not a prodigal, I can't stand it. You should know better than me how prodigal he has been since he was a child. Hearing Huang Dahai's words, Meng Haifeng smiled bitterly and said, President, don't ask. I'm afraid you will be angry to death if you know too much. I can only say that compared with that real prodigal, we are not as good as dogs. As for the things that the young master did in the past, they are really nothing. Oh. Hearing this, Huang Dahai became very interested in the prodigal son named Yifeng. Since the recipe of the blood ginseng pill is real, I have to go to the Xinghuan sect in person. A 10% profit is impossible. Let alone the other party's gift to my son, I am willing to give it up even if I don't make any profit. It just so happens that I also want to see how crazy the waste you were talking about has reached. Huang Dahai now has a little expectation. What kind of wasteful behavior can make Mr. Meng directly deny his son's previous wasteful behavior? Alas! Looking at Huang Dahai's expectant look at this time, Meng Haifeng sighed helplessly and said to himself, President, I hope you won't be mad at that time. Although the things are not ours, the other party's wasteful behavior can really take our lives. On the other side, Yifeng, Shichenfeng contacted me. Feeling that the sound transmission jade pendant had a reaction, Chu Hongshan also stopped temporarily. Tell him to clean his neck in the Black Demon sect and wait. In 6 days, I want him to make the Black Demon sect disappear from Xiantian continent. After saying that, Yifeng also fell into deep thought. He was really curious about how the 10,000 golden armor guards would destroy the black magic sect when they came out. After all, one golden armor guard could easily destroy the black magic sect. In the black magic sect hall. Bang! After hearing Chu Hongshan's extremely arrogant words, the furious Shichenfeng directly crushed the sound transmission jade pendant in his hand and shouted loudly, Pass my order to summon all the believers from all over the country. I want to see what Chu Hongshan is capable of. He actually wants to destroy my black magic sect. Tianji Pavilion. An old man with white hair suddenly opened his eyes, with a look of extreme fear in his eyes. As a white light rushed up from a pavilion in the deepest part of Tianji Pavilion, a group of figures began to rush towards the pavilion quickly. Grand Elder. The 11-old man looked at the white-haired old man sitting in the front and shouted respectfully. Chapter 99. Is my karma pattern very ordinary? Are these the 12 elders of Tianji Pavilion? Seeing the 12 elders in front of him, this was the first time Yiling Shui had seen all the elders since coming to Tianji Pavilion. These days since I came to Tianji Pavilion, although I have shown a talent far beyond the demon level with the Tianhen secret art enlightenment pill given by my master, I feel that the great elder still does not pay enough attention to me. Should I tell him about the cause and effect pattern? Yi Lingxue, who was standing at the back, also started to think at this time. If the elder in front knew what Yi Lingxue was thinking at this moment, he would definitely stand up and roar, "The resources of the entire Tianji pavilion are all open to you. No matter what problems you have, the 11 elders will do their best to satisfy you. Now you are more than the saint of Tianji pavilion, you are almost the grandmother of Tianji pavilion. Is this not enough? Just now I deduced the secret of heaven, but found something extremely terrifying. 6 days later, the Black Demon sect will completely disappear from Shantian continent. Moreover, this matter is irreversible." Speaking of this, the elder saw the surprised expressions of the people below and continued, "At present, the Black Demon sect still has a secret treasure of our Tianji pavilion, so the secret treasure must be taken back within 6 days, otherwise the secret treasure will disappear with the Black Demon sect. This loss, our Tianji pavilion cannot afford it. I wonder which of the elders can go to the Black Demon sect and take back the secret treasure of our Tianji pavilion first." As the elder's voice fell, the whole attic was unusually quiet. "Great elder, the secret treasure was borrowed from us by the Black Demon sect's old leader, Zhou Chongshan, at a great cost for 3 years. Now it's only been a year. If we suddenly go to retrieve the secret treasure in advance, I'm afraid that Zhou Chongshan will definitely guess something. Whether we can get the secret treasure back at that time is another matter. I'm afraid that the elders who go there will be in danger." After a while, the second elder stepped forward and expressed his concerns. After hearing the second elder's words, the great elder also fell silent. "The Tianji pavilion is good at deducing the secrets of heaven, but not good at fighting. Even if they fight with strong people of the same realm, the winning rate will be very low." Thinking of Zhou Chongshan, who is a peak strong man of the 9th level of the crossing tribulation realm who has withstood 8 heavenly thunder tribulations, the elder is also deeply troubled at this time. "Forget it, use the sky peak mirror again." As he said, the elder stood up and walked directly to a room at the back. When the other 11 elders heard it, their faces changed slightly. Although they all wanted to persuade him, they all endured it in the end. The sky peak mirror, one of the 3 top secret treasures of the Tianji pavilion, can spy on the secrets of heaven to a greater extent, but it has to bear the backlash of cause and effect, and only the former elders or the sons and daughters of saints can use it. The elder's current physical condition is not very good. Using the sky peak mirror again will cause greater harm to himself, but the secret treasure in the Black Demon sect must be taken back. After Zhou Tong briefly explained the situation to Yi Lingxue beside him, Yi Lingxue suddenly shouted to the elder who was about to step into the room, "Elder, let me activate the sky peak mirror." "Nonsense. Although as a saint, you are qualified to use the 3 top secret treasures of the Tianji pavilion, but you haven't grown up yet, not to mention that the cause and effect of this matter is extremely terrible, and you can't bear it at all. You are the future of the Tianji pavilion. Before you grow up, we, the 12 elders of Tianji, will never let you make any mistakes." After hearing what Yi Lingxue said, the elder turned around and scolded angrily. "But I have this." As he said that, Yi Lingxue rolled up his right sleeve and revealed the golden karma pattern on his right arm. Fuck. Cause and effect pattern. When the 12 elders in the attic saw the golden pattern, they all cursed and their eyes were filled with endless shock. They all know about this karma pattern. It seems that they are really capable. Hearing that the 12 elders all called out the karma pattern, Yi Lingxue was also a little surprised. "Let me check how much karma power your karma pattern can withstand." The elder took a few steps and came to Yi Lingxue. 1 minute. 2 minutes. 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, the elder's expression remained dull. "Grand Elder, is my causal pattern very ordinary?" Seeing the Grand Elder who had been silent for a long time, Yi Lingxue was a little panicked. After all, Yifeng had told her that this causal pattern could only resist causality to a certain extent, and also told her to be careful when using the Tianhen secret technique to spy on the secrets of the sky. Does that mean that the causal power that this causal pattern can resist is very ordinary? Very ordinary? Do you know how much causality I need to bear when I use the sky-peaking mirror? Do you know how long it takes for me to use the sky-peak mirror after I use it once? Do you know how much life I will lose after I use the sky-peak mirror once? Speaking of this, the great elder looked at Yi Lingxue with envy and continued, just relying on the causal pattern on your arm, you can use the sky-peak mirror more than 10 times a day like a game. Moreover, you will not suffer any causal backlash at all, and you will not lose even a day of life. After saying that, the great elder pulled the confused Yi Lingxue directly into the back room. At the same time, he was extremely grateful in his heart. Fortunately, he was old and his steps were slow, otherwise he would have to endure another terrible causal backlash in vain. Listen to me, all of you. From today on, you must serve Yi Lingxue as your grandmother. With her, our Tianji pavilion will definitely reach a height that we dare not imagine before. When he was about to enter the room, the great elder turned around and said to the 11 elders below with a majestic face, Master is awesome. When Yi Lingxue heard this, she roared hoarsely in anger. She still underestimated the cause and effect pattern that Yifeng gave her, thinking that Yifeng gave her this causal pattern that even the great elders envied. She was more determined to control the Tianji pavilion. She must not let Yifeng down. The 11 elders below were also very excited at this time. Yi Lingxue's talent in practicing the Tianhen secret technique in the past few days had already scared them. Who would have thought that the other party had such a terrifying trump card that had not been revealed? 5 minutes later. When the great elder and Yi Lingxue walked out of the room, the 11 elders immediately looked at the two of them. They all wanted to know who would be the most suitable person to go to the Black Demon sect this time. Chapter 100 I can't stand it anymore, Yifeng, you are so crazy. According to the hint given by the Sky Peak mirror, the most suitable person to go to the Black Demon sect this time is Saint Yi Lingxue. But the saint must not go alone. At this point, the elder looked at Zhou Tong with a strange look and said, Elder Zhou Tong, you will follow the saint to the Black Demon sect, remember to protect the saint's safety. Elder, why don't you send a few more elders? The saint's safety cannot be lost. At this time, the second elder stood up again. No need, according to the hint given by the Sky Peak mirror, although the saint will encounter danger this time, she will be out of danger in the end. Elder Zhou Tong is enough. After speaking, the elder looked at Zhou Tong again and said, take the saint away quickly, go early, and come back early. Zhou Tong obeys. When Zhou Tong took Yi Lingxue out of the attic, the great elder wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and looked at the other 10 elders and said, miscalculated, miscalculated. The cause and effect pattern on Yi Lingxue's right arm is much stronger than what I have detected. Do you know how many times she used the Tianhen secret technique to activate the Sky Peak mirror just now? 66 times. If I hadn't stopped her in the end, I'm afraid she would have continued to play. Do you know what she used the Sky Peak mirror for so many times? Huh. At this point, even the great elder took a deep breath and said with fear, how many times has Elder Zhou Tong been to Wangchen Tower in the past 3 years? How many times has he cheated people, and even several of his illegitimate children have been spied on clearly? That's the causal pattern. It takes a lot of time to slowly recover from the causal backlash to the limit, but she actually used this kind of power to spy on these gossips, which is simply the peak of losing money. Speaking of this, the great elder was almost crying with anger. Since he became the great elder, every time he used the sky-peaking mirror, it was because he encountered extremely serious things, and every time he used it, he had to suffer huge causal backlash. It is no exaggeration to say that from the time he became the great elder to now, The number of times he used the sky-peeking mirror is not as many as the number of times Yi Lingxue used the sky-peeking mirror just now. Grand Elder, we must persuade the Saintess. The power of the causal pattern cannot be wasted like this. After hearing the words of the Grand Elder, the second elder stepped forward in fear and said hurriedly, "The causal power that the causal pattern can resist is equivalent to the most expensive spiritual crystal for the 12 elders of Tianji Pavilion, and Yi Lingxue's behavior is equivalent to using such precious spiritual crystals to buy buns for mortals. Isn't this a waste of money?" What worries many elders the most is that if Yi Lingxue continues to spend money so recklessly, won't their secrets be peeped out clearly? If my persuasion is useful, can she still play 66 times? Wait for Yi Lingxue to come back and persuade her together. The Grand Elder also said helplessly after hearing this. Enough. Stop talking. Zhou Tong, who left Tianji Pavilion, listened to Yi Lingxue's details of some of his secrets in the past 3 years, and the whole person was going crazy. 66 times, except for the first time when you used it properly, the other 65 times you used the sky-peeking mirror to spy on my secrets? Saint, the power of the karma pattern is not used like this. Zhou Tong looked at Yi Lingxue with a smug look on his face, and felt his heart bleeding. If there was anything in the world that the 12 elders of Tianji cared about the most, it was definitely a treasure that could resist karma. You are not a loser. Halfway through his words, Zhou Tong suddenly thought of the loser Yi Feng whom he met in Maple Leaf City before. Saintess, do you know a man named Yi Feng? Zhou Tong looked at Yi Lingxue with a serious face and asked. No, what's wrong? Yi Lingxue answered calmly. It's okay, it's just that some of the saint's behaviors are suddenly similar to his. Zhou Tong said with a frown. Yeah. Looking at Zhou Tong with a frown, Yi Lingxue was overjoyed. As the second disciple of the loser sect, Yi Lingxue naturally remembered the sect rules that Yi Feng said. Originally, he was not sure whether wasting the power of the cause and effect pattern like this was considered a loser. Now it seems that it is definitely a loser. Ding! Congratulations to the host, the second disciple Yi Lingxue, for the success of losing money. Reward 800 loser points and 200 golden silkworm star stones. Hey! Yi Feng, who was lying on the flying spirit tool, was almost asleep due to boredom. Who would have thought that the system prompt sound suddenly rang? System, why did Yi Lingxue squander money? Yi Feng was also full of curiosity at this time, and what he didn't expect was that in addition to rewarding squandering points, disciples who squandered money were also rewarded with special rewards. Ding! The host's second disciple, Yi Lingxue, used the power of the causal pattern to spy on the privacy of others' lives. The system determined it to be a wasteful behavior. Fuck. Yi Lingxue, it has to be you. The master really didn't misjudge you. Hearing the system's answer, Yi Feng couldn't help laughing. He really didn't dream that Yi Lingxue would use the power of the causal pattern to spy on the privacy of others' lives. This is really fucking good. Yi Feng, this is for me? Seeing the 200 golden silkworm star stones in the space ring that Yi Feng handed to him, Chu Hongshan was so moved that he almost cried. This human booster is not to blame. He hopes that Yi Feng can still spend more money. Give it to you? Elder Chu, what are you thinking? These golden silkworm star shining stones are not for you. Take these. When you return to the sect later, use these 200 golden silkworm star shining stones to build a toilet for me. As for the golden silkworm star shining stones needed for the hut, I will slowly get them later. Yi Feng looked at Chu Hongshan with a look of a fool and said. Toilet. Hut. I can't stand it anymore, Yi Feng, you are so crazy. Do you know how precious the golden silkworm star shining stones are? You actually want to use the golden silkworm star shining stones to build a toilet and a hut. Chu Hongshan was stunned at first, and then he was furious in an instant, staring at Yi Feng with his eyes almost popping out. The 5 great ancestors of Xingji sect, Old Chu, your ideological awareness needs to be improved. This pattern has not been opened at all. Elder Chu, why are you angry? Don't you know the 5 great ancestors of Xingji sect? They all support my idea very much. Looking at the furious Chu Hongshan, Yi Feng also directly mentioned the 5 great ancestors, meaning that you and the 5 great ancestors have too much ideological awareness. Impossible. Forget about you being crazy, how could those 5 old guys be crazy with you? Wait a minute, I'll go ask them now. As he said, Chu Hongshan walked to the side and took out the sound transmission jade pendant to contact the great ancestor Luo Tianxing.